Eala faces old Tormentor Valentova in Qatar Open kickoff. Manila, Philippines. Eala will start her campaign in the Qatar Open against a familiar foe in Teresa Valentova of Czechia, eyeing sweet revenge after bowing via sweep the last time out. The Doha tournament, WTA's first 1,000-level event this season, got going yesterday at the Khalifa International Tennis and Squash Complex, with Eala being assigned to Day 2 against a qualifier that ultimately became Valentova. Valentova, singles and doubles champion in the 2024 French Open girls competition, lived up to her lofty billing as the number 1 seed in the qualifiers by beating Aussie Irina Rodionova, WTA number 210, 6-2, 2-6, 7-6, 3, and German Eala Seidel, WTA number 83, to advance to the main draw. Thank you, Abu Dhabi. A time was had. Next stop, Doha, said Eala yesterday, sharing a series of scenic views upon arriving at the Qatari capital, including a photo with close friend Zeynep Sönmez of Turkey. Eala and Valentova are shoulder to shoulder in the WTA rankings, Eala at number 45 and Valentova at number 44, making it one of the interesting matchups in the 64-player main draw. The first light over Doha arrives softly, as if the desert itself is reluctant to wake. It slides across glass towers and settles on the Khalifa International Tennis Complex, where the courts glow a pale, expectant blue. For most players, the Qatar Open is just another stop on the long migration of the tour. For Alexandra Eala, it is something heavier, sharper, an opening chapter that refuses to forget its prologue. Across the net waits a familiar name, Valentova. Old tormentor, old lesson, old scar. Tennis is a cruel memory. It archives moments with ruthless precision, the way a forehand broke down under pressure, the way a match slipped away not in one dramatic collapse but in 1,000 small hesitations. Eala remembers Valentova not as a villain, but as a mirror held too close. They met when Eala was younger, still translating talent into belief, still learning how quickly promise can be exposed. Valentova had been steadier then, colder, her game a quiet machine that fed on impatience. The loss stayed with Eala longer than she wanted to admit. Now, Doha offers a rematch under a different sky. The court is ringed by silence before the match begins, the kind that hums. Eala walks out with measured steps, dark hair pulled back, shoulders loose. She looks older, not in years alone, but in posture. This version of her has traveled. She has trained in distant academies, played through injuries that never made headlines, learned how to lose without disappearing. She has learned, above all, that confidence is not loud. It is practiced. Valentova enters with the same efficient calm. If she recognizes the narrative hovering between them, she does not show it. Her eyes flick once across the court, assessing wind, bounce, geometry. She is here to play the opening round, not to revisit history. But history has already taken its seat. The first games are tight, cautious. Eala probes with depth, testing Valentova's backhand, sending high-margin balls that push rallies longer than the crowd expects. Valentova responds with discipline, redirecting pace, refusing to overhit. It feels less like a kickoff and more like a chess match played at full sprint. Eala's legs move beautifully. That, too, is new. In the past, her footwork sometimes betrayed her ambition. Now it carries it. She slides into corners, resets, chooses patience where she once chose panic. When she misses, she nods to herself, not in frustration, but acknowledgement. Valentova strikes first, breaking serve with a clean return winner that kisses the line. It is the kind of shot that once would have unraveled Eala. The memory flickers, the younger version of herself tightening, chasing points that were not there to be chased. This time, she breathes. Between games, she looks up briefly, beyond the stands, toward the open sky. The desert sun is rising fast now, burning off the last of the morning cool. Heat is a way of clarifying things. It strips the game to essentials, legs, lungs, will. Eala begins to vary her patterns. A sudden drop shot, a looping forehand that pulls Valentova forward, then a pass threaded behind her. The crowd stays. The match has found its pulse. Valentova adjusts, of course. She always does. She absorbs the creativity and answers with precision, flattening out her shots, taking time away. There is no panic in her game, no drama. If she is an antagonist, she is a quiet one, the kind that forces you to defeat yourself if you hope to defeat her. Games stretch. Juices stack like stones. Every point feels like a small referendum on growth. Eala breaks back. The moment is not explosive. There is no fist pump aimed at the box, no shout to the sky. She simply turns, walks to the baseline, and readies herself to serve. That, more than anything, signals how far she has come. Revenge, it turns out, is overrated. Control is better. As the match deepens, rallies lengthen into tests of nerve. Sweat darkens Eala's visor. Valentova's breathing grows louder between points. The desert air presses down, indifferent to narrative, unimpressed by talent. And yet, something has shifted. Eala's shots carry more intention now. She is not playing against Valentova so much as through her, using the old loss as a map rather than a warning. She knows where the traps are. She knows which risks are worth taking and which are merely emotional. Valentova senses it. She steps inside the baseline, tries to assert herself, tries to turn the past into the present again. A blistering return earns applause. A sharp angle forces an error. For a moment, the old pattern threatens to reassert itself. Eala responds not with force, but with clarity. She constructs points carefully, trusting her legs, trusting the work she has put in when no one was watching. She accepts that not every rally will end on her terms. She accepts that tension is part of the bargain. The set, whichever way it tilts, almost feels secondary. What matters is the way Eala occupies the court now. She belongs here, not as a wildcard, not as a junior prodigy grown too fast, but as a professional who understands that the tour is a long conversation, and today is only one sentence. When the match finally ends, the handshake at the net is brief and respectful. Valentova nods, her expression unreadable. Eala smiles, not wide, not triumphant, but genuine. Win or lose, something has been settled. As the crowd disperses and the sun climbs higher, the court empties. The Qatar Open moves on, as tournaments always do. Another match is announced. Another story begins. But for Eala, the kickoff has already done its work. The old tormentor is no longer a shadow. She is simply an opponent, met and measured under the desert sun,